Okay. I appreciate you all being here. And the reason why I asked to do this recording is because we've actually had a few schools reach out to me and want more information on how we do the Thanksgiving turkey basket drive, which I'm excited about because I've got to tell you honestly, and Sensei Howard, you can second this. Um, by far, when you talk to our staff, this is their favorite day of the entire year.
No doubt about it.
It truly is better to give than receive. We just get so much positive feedback from the staff and how fun and exciting it is. And then also, if you've seen some of the comments on that Facebook post, we have ex-students that don't even train here anymore. Some of them come back just for that day. And you saw some of them comment and say, this was our favorite. My kids have grown up, they don't train anymore at your school, but this was our favorite day of the year. So one of the benefits, we certainly don't do it for this reason. We're doing it for this reason because I believe that the school should be a pillar of goodwill for the community. I believe that we should serve our community far beyond just getting students. We should be serving the needs of our community in any way that we can. And this certainly sends that message that this is what we're about. But there is a benefit, and that is the morale of your school just goes through the roof, and you send a message to your parents and your students what you were really all about. So let's get started. The first thing that you want to do is you want to establish the need. So if you're taking notes, the first thing we've got to do is establish the need. Well, what does that mean? Well, we've got to find out what is the need out there. I'm not even going to ask, is there a need? There definitely is a need, especially this year with COVID. The unemployment is up. There's definitely a need, but what is the need and where is the need? So this is where it requires a little legwork, especially on your first year. But after your first year, you're going to find that this almost takes on a life of its own, and pretty soon people start contacting you. So one of the things that we do is we approach local churches. I have connections to a few different churches, so I'll approach them first. Even if you don't have a connection to local churches. I think when we first got started, I had just moved up to this area, and I went to different Catholic schools around the area and just asked them. I asked them and said, listen, we're trying to get the students involved in a turkey drive to help feed people in need in the area. Do you have that? The first church I went to was St. John's Church in Attleboro. She looked at me and she was like, are you kidding me? Every year we have a list of people that we try to get food for, and we just can't meet the need. So that was like our first. Then we started reaching out to other churches. In fact, there's a church I was telling Sensei Howard, we're close to where I live. I'm going to be going over there probably sometime tomorrow. And you just knock on the door, you tell them who you are, and you tell them what you're doing. And it pretty much is going to just take off at that point. There's a huge need out there. So churches is one of them. Contact depends on your state. It could be your county, it could be your town, or it could be Rhode Island's so small. We tend to just contact Department of Social Services, Department of Family Services, and you just let them know. This is how we got into women's battered shelters. We got into different homes. We send baskets to, there's a home in Attleboro that houses teenagers, foster care. And we would just contact these people and just let them know what we're doing. So the first thing is you got to contact and see what the need is there. And then next thing you got to do is go to the grocery stores. And before I get into what's going to be in the turkey basket and the price, you got to find out from the grocery store, when is the deadline? When is the day, the last day that I can let you know how many baskets I need? Because then you go back to the churches and you tell them, or the social services, I need to know by this date. We also have, Sensei Howard reaches out to the food pantries in our area. So there's just some options. Do you want add anything to that, Sensei Howard? The churches, social
that's
services?
exactly what I was just going to add to it. We do 3 local food pantries in addition to the churches. Oh, and another one that just started about 2 years ago. We have 2 different, what do you call it, preschool daycares for underprivileged kids that are through like DSS or whatever, Kinder Care or something. And there's another one that we give probably about 30 baskets to those 2 as well.
And that they came to us. They had heard
to us.
So see what that kind of proves the point. As you get this thing going, your first year, I think our first year we did I'm going way back 20 years ago, but I think our first year, maybe we did 150, and we were like, whoa, you know, we broke 100. It's amazing. We fed over 100 families. That's incredible. Last year we did, I misquoted on the Facebook post, Sensei Howard corrected me. Last year we did 550. We
Yep.
did 550 families were fed last year. It's incredible. It's incredible. So, so one more time, first establish the need. This is where a little legwork gets going, but it's only going to be for the first year, because then after that, it's literally just, you know, we started on Monday. We text all the churches that we, and in fact, I just came to mind. I didn't text Tom. Tom runs a homeless shelter in Fall River, and he usually takes a good amount of baskets, about 100 plus. So I'll text him today. But basically, at this point, we're just texting. We're texting the pastors, hey, I need to know, you know, what your count's going to be this year. I need to know by this date, and it just takes on a life of its own. The second thing is we go to the grocery store. So we've used Walmart is pretty fantastic. Once they find out what you're doing, like they're into this. They'll get behind you. They'll rally behind you because that's what they want to be known for. They want to be known for helping out the community. But we've used different grocery stores throughout the years. The first year, quite honestly, we kind of got it wrong. It felt like we were pulling teeth and with them, and we're just like, listen, I don't think you're getting it. Like, we're feeding people that need food, and you just seem to be making this really difficult. So we moved on to another grocery store. They were great, but eventually we had a student come forth that was a manager at Walmart, and they said, I think we can really help you out here. Now, what you want is you're hoping that they're going to give you the food at cost. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like. In times past, it actually costs $30 to put together a basket. Now the suggested donation is 40 bucks, but it's only costing us $30. Okay. The cheaper you can get the food, the better, because that means you can feed more families. So now check this out. We're in this now for, I believe this is our 20th year we're doing this. And we've just had a student come forward that's a manager of a grocery store, and they told Sensei Howard that they think they could get it down to $14. But we're still going to ask for $40 donations, but now every $40 donation is feeding what? Over 3 families. So what we end up doing at the end of the day is we take all the money that gets donated, we divide it by the cost per basket, and that's how many families we're going to feed. Okay. If you exceed the limit, let's say you have a need of 200 families and you end up getting so much money that you have 250, that's okay. Keep the money, the extra 50, because one of the things that we found out a few years ago is everyone puts a big emphasis on Thanksgiving and forgets about Christmas. So we actually do this twice. Christmas is a lot smaller, but we actually do this twice. We will do Thanksgiving, and then we will contact all those churches again and social services and said, what's your need for Christmas? We also do, and this is a different subject, we do a toy drive, which is pretty awesome with the staff, especially the teenagers. Last year, Sensei Howard did this because he wanted to create team building with the staff. We gave each of the staff a budget. I think, I don't know, what was it, $200 each team. So we took all of our teenagers and all 4 schools, we divided them into 4 teams, I think it was, and each team got $200. Now we've already gotten the churches tell us what the needs are for Christmas gifts. So we gave it to them. So, okay, you guys have, 6 5-year-olds, 8, and you got to get all these gifts, and here's your budget. And it was really cool to see the kids working together to stretch that budget out as far as they could to get everyone at least more, 2 or 3 gifts. And then it was really cool seeing them cash out because you got all these teenagers, a whole line of shopping carts at Walmart. And again, it's just sending the message to the teenagers that, let's care about some other people. But that's a totally different subject, and I apologize. Back at the Thanksgiving, so you want to work with the grocery store, and they're going to, if they know that you're donating this, they're going to give it to you at cost. But now you got to put together your price per basket. Okay, so what's in the basket? Well, the first thing is there's going to be a gift certificate for the turkey. That's an important point. We do not actually give the turkey in the basket, and here's why. We did that the first year. The first year we met at the church, and it actually had a turkey in the basket. But the some of the people that would come and pick them up came hours later. It's a frozen turkey. See what I'm going with this?
Yeah,
It
Janelle
got,
and I were wondering about that. How do
yeah,
you
it,
the turkey? Yeah.
exactly. It got to the point where people would come pick up their turkeys, and we go, "Hey, you need to go home and cook this right now because it's already thawed out, man." So
That was
we learned.
terrible.
Yeah, that was terrible. So we learned the lesson that we're not going to give you the frozen turkey. Instead, what's going to happen is we're going to give you the grocery store will give you a gift certificate that specifically buys the turkey. They have boxes and boxes of turkeys, and they'll have it at a set price. I think it's like $15.99 for a good sized turkey. So that's how they'll get the turkey. They will have to go back to that grocery store. And that's what's great about Walmart. They can pretty much hit any Walmart, that's close to them. Other than that, what's in the basket? Well, first, let's start from the bottom up. There's a metal pan. So I believe you call it a roasting pan.
Yes.
Okay. So you need a big, giant roasting pan. You also need, if you see the picture on my Facebook post, there's a cellophane. Is that correct?
Yep, like a gift basket bag type of thing.
A basket bag. Because once you put all the stuff in the basket, you want to wrap it up. You can get those on Walmart. You just want to make sure you get the ones that are big enough, that you can slide the whole basket in there. You remember the size of I said Walmart. I meant Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon or Michael's, like a craft store. We'd always did it at craft store until Amazon came along, and Amazon just made it way easier.
Yeah, and they're just big bags,
I
bags. Okay.
the number.
Sense gonna get you that. So now you got the metal roasting pan. You slide it into this big clear bag, cellophane bag. You put a ribbon around it. This is what it looks like.
It doesn't say.
Okay. But if you go to Amazon and it's got to be big enough for a roasting pan to fit in. Look at the size of these bags. Yeah. Okay. If you're lost, just get your wife involved. I mean, for you and I, we're helpless here, but they're like, oh, you want this?
Probably about 20 by 30 inches.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Then you're going to get a ribbon. Once you slide the basket in, you just tie the end with a nice ribbon. Now, what's in the basket? Well, it's the gift certificate. We tape that to the side of the roasting pan so it never falls out. And then it's all the trimmings. So let's have some fun here. Stuffing, okay. Mashed potatoes, or a bag of potatoes. You can get instant potatoes or a bag of potatoes. Corn, cranberry sauce. What else do we have here? An apple pie, a full-size apple pie or pumpkin pie.
Yep. Package of dinner rolls.
Package of dinner rolls. 2 cans of every vegetable.
Right, 2 cans of vegetables, a jar of gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Pie, dinner rolls.
Yeah.
Everything you need. I've actually got the list. I can send it to you if you want.
Oh, that would be great. So, and you kind of, bring that list to Walmart or whatever, and you figure out what each
exactly.
package.
Yeah. So I bring them I've already done it. I did it about 3 weeks ago. Brought them the list and just said, here's the list, and can you tell me how much it's going to cost? And they came back with roughly $14 for the food, and then whatever we want to do for the gift card.
So realistically,
roughly $24.
Yeah, I was gonna say realistically, the whole thing might cost $25.
Yeah.
So we asked for a $40 donation, suggested donation. The reason why we say suggested is we're not gonna turn down someone if they come and say, "Listen, I only got $20." That's fine. It just goes into the pot because we end up dividing it. We end up dividing the whole thing. Hold on, honey. We end up dividing the whole thing by $25 anyways. There's my toddler. For those of you that are watching this, I don't actually have a toddler, although I do have a toddler. It's just not my toddler. My toddler is now 28 years old. So anyways, we were saying that you bring the list, and we asked for the suggested donation of $40, but again, like I said earlier, you're just going to divide the whole thing by the ultimate cost, and that's going to tell you how many families you're ultimately going to feed. Okay. Anything else as far as what goes in the basket?
I think that was everything.
Okay. Now it's Fun Day. Fun Day is the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Now you have to go to the grocery store or Walmart and pick this stuff up. be prepared. The first year we did this, we didn't realize that if you're feeding 200 families, those are pallets of stuffing and gravy, and you know, we're not going to put a pallet in the back of a pickup truck. So get people to come down there and help you. Anything with pickup trucks to, you know, SUVs, and basically you're going to show up. They're going to already have the, you're going to establish a time when you're going to pick it up. That'll coincide with the time that you're telling the students to be at the school. So we tell the students to be at the school at 11. Sensei Howard and I and probably a half a dozen other guys with trucks will go to Walmart and we'll pick the food up at 8, 8:30. We'll just load the trucks up with all the food. We bring it to the school, and the way that we have it set up at the school is we have basically all the tables are set up almost like a horseshoe. Okay, so if you know what I'll do, I'll
Basically like an assembly line.
right. So we'll have check this out. So we'll have the table set up like this. Okay, that's terrible. I swear it's the coffee. What is, every time I see you, you're drinking something. What is in that thing? All right.
Wait, the artist.
Yeah. So the line of the students is over here, right? It starts here and literally it goes out the door. They start here. They grab the metal pan, and these are all stations. You know, this may be a stuffing. This may be gravy. This may be the peas or the string beans. This is the corn, and so forth and so on. And the kids and the parents will just grab, almost like a buffet style. They'll grab the pan and they'll just go stuff stage to stage to stage, filling it up. Okay. They come all the way around. The last person will usually tape the gift certificate for the turkey inside, and then they hand it off. And then over here on the floor, we'll have a bunch of girls and teenagers, and their job is to take the turkey basket, put it inside the bag, put the ribbon on it, okay? And then against the wall over here, we'll have signs on the wall, all right? Hope Bible Church, whatever it may be, Solomon's Porch, Family Services, and they'll have a number. And then we'll have some teenagers, and they're responsible for taking these turkeys and then just stacking them, not stacking them, but laying them until they meet that number. So if there's a number over here that says 80 baskets go over here, and then they jump to the next one. And we just keep this up. We've got Christmas music playing. We usually have some of the staff members going around giving free cookies. Usually it's Sensei Howard. He's got holiday Christmas cookies, and people are in line, and he's just giving it to them, and he's talking, and people come in with Christmas hats on, and the music's playing. And it's just, it's as close to sugar plums dancing in your head as you possibly can get. And the, you know, the energy's just through the roof. Now, for us, it's a little easier because my dojos, well, in this particular dojo, we have a garage door. So there's a garage door here. And myself and a lot of other guys are just waiting outside, and we're just letting them do their thing and have a good time. And we're waiting because we're the deliveries. So we've got our pickup trucks. Okay. Once everything is met, all the turkey baskets are met, the need is met, let's say, you know, we gather everyone, we thank everyone, we give a big round of applause, we let everyone take pictures. Some of the, as Sensei Howard has said, some of the teams actually do this as a requirement. What's the requirement again?
Some of the local schools have, part of being a senior is doing so many hours of like community service.
Yep.
So we do a lot of masks to help out with that.
Yeah, so they'll take pictures, post on our Facebook. Some of the teams have to take pictures just so they can report it. And then the assembly line begins, another one. So there'll be a bunch of people that are lined up here. We'll back one pickup truck in, and they just hand it off until this, you know, sometimes it's one pickup truck, sometimes it requires 2 or 3. We'll fill them up, and we'll tell the driver, here's your address, this is where you're delivering it. We've already established the delivery times with whoever's getting it. They know what time to expect us. Usually it's in the afternoon. Delivery will take place about between 1 and 2. And then they go and they deliver. And we're literally going everywhere that day. There's people going to other states, to other churches, social services. Sometimes we can't deliver on a Sunday. So we'll have to fill the vehicles but we'll have to deliver it the next day on Monday, like social services. They're not going to be open on a Sunday. And some people come to us. You know, the pantry tends to come to us. And once we've got theirs, they just go ahead and get it. And then the delivery begins. So, Howard, did I forget anything? Help these guys out.
No, as far as all the details go, the only thing is that when people make the donations, we have them
Oh, yeah.
one of these.
Yeah.
So we've got these, cut 4 in a sheet, and we have them put their name on it or whatever they want. Happy Thanksgiving. A lot of people want to do it anonymously. So they'll just put Happy Thanksgiving. They'll put the names on it, and we take those and we tape them up at the top of the mirrors, and it helps build excitement in the school.
We also do that.
Like, oh, I want to do a donation because they see those, and we just fill up the top of the mirrors with them, and it's just so cool to see.
And we keep announcing it. We tell them to, listen, this year the need's 450. We're at 125, and we just keep telling them. We also have one of the teenagers will often take a piece of poster board and just make like a giant turkey and then put like, the barometer thing on the side, and they'll write on the top what the need is. And then as we're getting closer, they just keep coloring it in, color it in. And I tell you what, every year, last year was probably the year that Sensei Howard and I looked at it and go, man, is this going to be the first year that we don't actually need it? And I mean, yeah, it was like a real thing. And then all of a sudden a guy comes in, I think it was a Friday morning, and writes a check for $1,600. And he calls me and says, like, it's done. We got it. Every year it's like that. So
yeah, somehow it finds a way. Hold on.
It finds
no matter what the number is, we exceed it. We actually had so much. Not only did we do Christmas, we had so much extra money left over. We actually donated probably about $400 or $500 worth of food for Easter to the local food pantry. Right. And then at the beginning of the pandemic, we did another $400 or $500 in food to the local food pantry that was short because we had so much money left over.
Let's get into some of that. That's good. We have a separate checking account. Okay, we call it the America's Best Defense Outreach. So all this money gets donated. So it's not mixing with your regular money. So not only does we can deposit checks. People ask me, well, who do I make the check out to? Just make it out to America's Best Defense, because it says America's Best Defense Outreach. I can deposit money into that account. So that's how we're able to. You may wonder, like, how do you know you had extra money? Because we just look in the checking account and we're like, hey, we got like he's got there. Yeah. The other thing is, can you tell them how it's set up with people that want to pay with credit cards?
Yes. So we use Square for our regular transactions, but unfortunately on one computer, you can't have 2 Square accounts. So we set up Intuit QuickBooks has a very similar thing to Square. There's a few companies. I think you can even do PayPal. Yeah. And we just set that up to directly deposit into the ABD outreach account.
Right.
So separate. So we always just have both apps open. So when people want to make the donation, we just use the ABD outreach into it.
And you have today's Venmo going on. I think that's how you say it.
Venmo.
Venmo?
I don't know how you do Venmo though. Stacy does it for her business, but I don't know.
I think you can set up where it goes into a certain account as well. Yeah. But you definitely want to have a separate account, and you don't want it mixing, with your regular business account, for sure. Now, as far as the marketing side of this, a couple of things that we ask. One is, first, we're just making announcements in class. We're letting everyone know what we're doing, and if they would like to get involved and help out, it costs $40 to sponsor a family, but we'll take whatever money you can. That's number one. 2, like since I said, the turkey pictures, we hang them on the mirrors. So when they come and they train, they see how many families are already donated and how many turkeys we have. 3, the poster. 4, if you saw my Facebook post, I basically just asked the staff to copy and paste that. We want the staff to announce it because they have friends. So for example, right before I was coming home to do the Zoom meeting, a very successful friend of mine. In fact, if you remember on the news, they talked about a company in Rhode Island that had been given the governmental contract to make I believe it's called the M90 masks. That's his company. So he literally just texted Julie. I don't want to put an anticipation on this. I know he's very successful. I know that he recently made a $5,000 donation to the Bristol Police Department. He gave every cop, I think it was $100 gift certificate to a restaurant. So his wife just contacted Julie and said, hey, we want to make a donation to the turkey basket thing. So it's one of those things that you're like, when the rich uncle calls, you're like, oh, goody. I don't know what it's going to be, but, awesome. But anyways, have your staff copy and paste, because they've got friends that when they read that kind of thing, say, yeah, I want to help out. The kids can, I always recommend with the parents, get the kids involved, have them set up like their own kick-a-thon with their family, or, whatever. Maybe they could go do chores for free, rake someone's yard and let them know I'm raising money to feed. These kids are really creative, and they do get creative. But get them involved somehow to raise money. It's more meaningful when these kids actually earn the money themselves. And you just let the kids know what you're doing, and they are quick to want to get involved and help out. And then, of course, like I said, the poster with the barometer. And I think you'll do well. It's a lot of fun. Any questions for me?
So you mentioned there's a poster. So you guys have these little cutout turkey things that you put up whenever somebody makes a donation.
Right.
What is the deal with that poster?
And it's one turkey cutout for every $40 donation. So someone writes you a check for $400. You're putting up 10, and if they want their name on it, it'd be 10 turkeys with the name Garcia on it.
Okay.
But a lot of them, like Sensei Howard said, they want to stay anonymous. So we'll just write Happy Thanksgiving, and then we'll just put up 10. We had I wasn't there yesterday, but on Tuesday at the end of class, we had a family walk up and give us a check for $400. So, they got 10 turkeys up on the mirror,
So you just have a cutout, like 4 different turkey. Okay.
Yeah, you have it with you, Sensei. He just downloaded this from the internet.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, you froze for a second. Yeah, I Googled like turkey pictures or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Just before.
But the poster, I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand that poster.
It's just go to Staples, get poster board.
Okay.
We had a teenager draw a really cool turkey on it, and 2020 turkey drive, and it just had a picture of a turkey, and she just put like a little thermometer on the right hand side, and at the top of the thermometer it said whatever our goal was, 400, and every day we just kind of color in the thermometer. It's just a visual so that so the people could see how close. We had one kid one year draw a turkey, and the feathers, we needed 400 families, and each feather was 100. So when we hit 100, we colored in a feather. We don't. She went off to college, and we just don't have anybody that has that art capability.
Yeah.
Not going to be as fancy this year.
Yeah.
And that's on an easel, like right by the front door when you come in.
Yeah.
So people see it every time.
I have a thermometer. There's a goal. Okay, that's cool.
Yep.
And what would let's say like some of your other schools, like what would you recommend? Like I don't know, like as a starting goal.
You'd let that's going to be out of your control, to be honest with you.
But basically, when we go around to people, we're going to ask how many they need, and then we're going to see basically what the need is, and then we're just going to try to meet the need.
Yeah, you go around start with things that you're familiar with. So it all started with I think it all started. I'm trying to go way back 20 years ago. I know there was my church, and I approached my church, and they just jumped right on board. They were the first ones this year to text me and say, I understand it's a pandemic. Are we still in? I said, oh yeah, we're still in. This is still going to happen. And then I think St. John's actually sent me, if I remember correctly, sent me a letter that they were sending to all the businesses asking for donations because they had families that needed food. And that's when I was like, oh, this is perfect timing. And I went over there and I talked to them. So, I mean, go with what you're familiar with, your churches, your staff churches. I mean, that's what the church is for, to meet spiritual and physical needs.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of this, I don't want to sound esoteric, but a lot of this will be out of your control, and it'll just happen, and I think you know what I mean. It'll happen. So, and it'll take a year or two to get ramped up, but once it gets going, we'll be talking a few years from now. You're like, this is out of control. I had a, this year we're actually talking about renting a box car, like a giant, 24-footer, because, the amount of pickup trucks that have to go to wherever Walmart and pick up the food, it's like a train,
Yeah.
you know, coming in, delivering.
Oh yeah. Okay. And do you do any matching at all? Does ABD, you know, I mean, do you
We
do?
donate. I don't match, but we donate. You
Okay.
know, we have a budget, and we'll write a check for whatever $1,000 and just throw it in the pot. So yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of times what happens with us is like all the cellophane bags and all the ribbon, we end up buying all that,
Yeah.
you know, so
Right.
that part adds up. Ribbon's expensive.
It is
I don't know why,
expensive.
but ribbon's expensive.
My
Okay.
my wife, I took out the recycle on Monday, and three-quarters of the recycle bin was all full of empty ribbon, the cardboard centers. So my wife's already, because she'll go buy the ribbon and she'll pre-cut it to whatever 2 foot, however it's going to be to wrap and
It's
tie.
too.
Yeah, so she pre-cuts everything to 2 feet. So she's already talking to Sensei Howard. What did we do last year? We did 550. All right, I'm going to do 600 ribbon this year. So she's already going to work doing that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it seems like the trickiest part is probably finding, so you just go to Walmart and ask for the manager.
Yes.
You go to
Yep.
Walmart. Go ahead, Sensei. You had this up, so you tell them.
So I go to Walmart. Usually they refer you to the grocery manager because within Walmart there's like 6 managers. The last few years they've referred me directly to the grocery manager because they're the ones that handle it. So when I first go in, I go in with my letter, like I already did a few weeks ago. The letter just says, here's what we need. How much is the price going to be? And I tell him right off the bat, last year we did 550. So I'm assuming we're going to be right around there. When do you need my final total? And it's usually like the Wednesday before. We do pick up on Sunday morning. It's usually like Wednesday before they say, give me a final number. So they already are starting to put together enough for 500-ish families in the back room. That way, at the last minute, they only have to get 25 or 30 of each of the items.
And then is everything kind of fairly easily packaged together for you when you go to pick it up on that Sunday?
Yeah, they always have like whatever. If it's 20 cases of gravy, they have 20 cases of gravy sitting there, still in the boxes of the potatoes, boxes of the dinner rolls.
The hardest part of this whole thing is not eating apple pie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cases of apple pie and pumpkin pie. You're like, ooh, you think they'll miss one?
I don't want to make excuses myself. Do you think, how far along in the process are you? Do you think we're a little late to start this process?
No, as long as you can get to the manager, the grocery manager, as soon as possible.
Okay.
You're not, because like I said, those bigger stores, I don't know what you have for grocery stores down there, but places like Walmart that have a grocery store, they already stock hundreds of things. Every year it seems like the item they have the toughest time getting a hold of is the actual roasting pans. They're always scammering around to get enough roasting pans for us. So that's one of the things. They always charge us for like the generic brand, but we'll end up with some like, hefty pans, some, Fred's brand, whatever. And the same thing with some of the vegetables. We'll end up with some Walmart brand. We'll end up with some that are Libby's, whatever the name brands are, but they always charge us for the generic brand of everything.
Okay.
And another trick we learned is with the gift cards. It takes forever for them to ring up all the gift cards. So I now go pick them up as many as possible on Saturday night beforehand, just so we have them, because it takes a long time. If we do $10 on a gift card, they have to go to the register and hit $10, swipe the card, and then verify it. $10, swipe the card, verify it. Last year I sat in Walmart for 3.5 hours while they did it.
Wow. Okay. So, and that's what you're using for the turkey. You're using a gift card.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
But you just estimate that the turkey is going to be like $15.
Yeah, because they told us the turkeys are whatever, like 69 cents a pound or something. So $10 gives them an average size turkey.
Okay. So you just do $10 gift cards.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct.
Last year we did $12.25 because I liked that number.
Okay.
Get it?
And they can do gift cards.
Get it? $12.25.
And they can do gift cards in those increments.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not going on any further, answering any more questions until you can tell us what $12.25 means. Why was it $12.25?
Because of Christmas.
Right, exactly. You get to go on. Pass go.
Because I knew we had enough money. Every other year it had been $10, but we got that last minute,
Yeah.
money in
Yeah.
that we weren't expecting. So we just gave them a couple extra bucks.
Okay. All right. I think
Yeah,
that.
and that what makes it easier too is that once you make these connections, if you decide to do the Christmas thing, it's pretty much the same people.
Right.
You know,
You're
and
just going to them asking, what are some families in need? Are there some wish lists for toys?
what we do is we ask them to give us a list. It has to have the gender, male or female, and it has to have the age. And then students can get involved one of two ways. A, they can pick up a list of their own and go shopping. We ask that they wrap the toys and that they put the gender and age on the wrapping in like a sticky note.
Yeah. So we have cards at the front desk that'll say like 7-year-old boy who likes Legos. And they just grab the card. And when they bring the gift back to us, they tape that same thing to the gift.
That is by far the most popular way because our students love it. Our students love grabbing cards and going to shop for someone. And then again, they'll just bring them to the school. And I think you guys have seen posts from last year, pickup trucks full of Christmas gifts. And then we go deliver them. Last year, we got, and this is how it kind of happened. One of the places that we went and delivered turkey baskets, they're a homeless shelter. Their church sponsors a homeless shelter. So they don't really have anything in terms of a need for Christmas gifts. But he called me and he said, listen, we work with a program in Fall River that sponsors needy kids. In other words, these kids come from homes that there's no food. So the kids come to the school early and are fed a breakfast. And a lot of this is paid for by the state. We were told, listen, we understand the position that if these kids don't, not only do they get served breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they stay at the school until 5:30 just so they can have dinner and then they go home. So the fact that these families have no money to feed their own children, most, if not all of these kids don't celebrate Christmas. There's just no money. And he said, are you in? And I said, we're in. So that was pretty cool because last year we actually went to the school and delivered the gifts. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all. Yeah, because we've done just toys we've been at Toys for Tots drop off in the past. They just drop off the boxes, but we were thinking about doing something different this year.
Yeah, that's cool. Try to hold your emotions together, tough guy. There's nothing like it though. You go to school and you see all those little kids and they're seeing you just bring in toys after toys after you kind of feel like Santa,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't say I'm an elf because I'm 6 feet tall, so it's cool though. It's really cool. Yeah. And
Okay.
like I said, it sends a great message to your students, your staff. This is what we're about.
Yep. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Well, if you don't mind, Sensei Howard sending me that list, I think that would be very helpful for us. Okay.
Will do.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. If you need anything, let me know.
Okay. Thanks.
Take care. Bye.
All right,
Yeah.
bye.
Thanks, Sensei.
My pleasure.